Okay, it is January 13th at 5:35 p.m. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Do we have, and I'm just gonna quickly run through who we have present for the moment. Samantha Hertler, Evelyn Greenstein, Marie Gavazzi, Anthony Moen, Tim Fergal, Ashley Rhea Drysdale, and then from the public, we have guests. So Freda Horizon, that's it. Patrick Kylie, okay, got it. And then we have at least one public.
Rebecca Smith.
Rebecca Smith. Okay, great. Thank you very much. And all right, let's go ahead and get started. Can I? Thank you. So first order of business, do we have any public comment? Okay. And I'm going to say second order of business, speaker presentations. Freda, is there anything that you would like to talk about? I think you had indicated not today. Okay.
Unless anybody has any questions for me, I have no presentation.
Okay.
Today.
All right. Well, thank you for all that you do, and for I know we will be meeting with the Friends, Tim and I, next week to talk about 2026 planning and the MOU. So that is coming up next Wednesday.
I also just wanted to thank the Friends. The Friends recently provided a little over $3,000 to help support furniture at the Lansingburg Library and at the WCA. So thank you, Fred.
Thank you.
Are we doing timekeeping?
Yeah, if we Anthony, how do you feel about timekeeping?
Sure.
That's only because you came in late, and that was actually a suggestion. Not late last. You were perfectly on time. So you're fine. Okay, is that okay? Do you mind please?
Yes,
Oh,
that's fine.
Thank you very much. And good call. Okay, let's go ahead and keep moving. So on the consent agenda, there's gonna be a couple things to take out. So personnel meeting minutes are not going to be in right now. We'll have to submit them next time because that was Friday and I have not had a chance to type up the minutes since Friday. Okay, policy and governance committee meeting minutes. We need to just do that with you and you have to like transition that. Okay, so those two are gonna come out. But do we have approval on the personnel committee minutes from October 29th that we're catching up on, the finance committee minutes from 12/8 and the board meeting minutes from 12/9? Do I have a or would someone like to make a motion to, I would like to recommend an action to accept the consent agenda, including the board and committee minutes for the personnel committee, the finance committee and the board minutes. Do I have a second? Second, Evelyn, Nicole, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. And that's kind of our gap month, a lot happening so that you guys, and we'll get a lot more for next time. On the finance side, Marie, would you like to go through the treasurer's report, the little expenditures?
I'm not in on my computer yet.
Okay, what,
Um,
here, do you want mine? Are you on the internet or just not in the board packet?
Am I on the internet?
Yeah, the internet's connected, so
Yes, I am.
And are you able to get into Drive?
I can't get into my Gmail account. It's telling me I have the wrong password.
Are you logged into the board account?
No,
no, she was just trying to log into her board account. Oh, looking for your personal, or did you want your
oh, no wonder it's not working.
yeah, just switch accounts. Go. So it should look Gavazzi.
No, it's not.
Oh no, it's not.
It's Gavazzi M.
Oh right. Oh yeah, but since it's at the Troy Library, you need to write in the whole thing. Yeah.
Marie, is it okay if we
Go
come
on.
back to that?
Yes, please.
Okay. Let's go to the director's report.
And if it's okay, I
Yeah.
just
At the top of your list.
Patrick's talking about, that's wonderful. So
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, but that's personnel status report. There should be a line item for Patrick and then a list.
very good.
Okay.
So we have a new team member joining the Troy Public Library. Patrick Kylie started as the public information officer yesterday. So second day at the job. We're very grateful to have him here. We've already started to make a lot of great connections in the community. Patrick also was helping me work on an NEA grant to do a One City, One Book program. So Patrick, I'll let you introduce yourself to the board from here.
Thanks, Tim. Hi, everybody. Nice to see you all. Long have I heard of the Friends of the Troy Library and the board.
Well, ours, yeah, exactly. Friends is Freda and then the board.
Right, and the board. I am super delighted. It's been a kind of fast and furious couple days. And this is a new position for me. I come out of this having run a publishing business for the last 10 years, printing and publishing business, which is on Jefferson Street. And it's called Publication Studio. So I made books and zines and pamphlets and all sorts of broadsides and printed matter with artists and organizations and authors near and far. And prior to that, worked in a couple libraries doing work with exhibitions and publications largely. So I worked on a big exhibition of children's books at New York Public Library back in 2012 was when that debuted and was super. It was one of their more popular exhibitions ever. I think there was 2 million people came through to see it in a year and a half. And prior to that, I worked at the Finding the Rare Book Library at Yale, working on exhibitions and curatorial staff support. And in 2023, I got my MLIS from the University of Illinois. And so this is kind of a long time coming, bringing in some of this library experience, love of books, and as well as my experience having lived in Troy and gotten to know the community here for the last decade, feeling like it's a good time to use some of that to try to help build the library into an institution that people trust and want to see as a really valuable resource going forward. So like I said, it's a new position. There's plenty of things in this job that I haven't specifically done before, but I feel, I'm keen to learn. I feel like my experience, gives me good grounding to tackle those things. So we've drawn up some plans. We've already started meeting some folks that, have relationships with the library or folks that Tim's met, and that's really exciting. So I just feel like it's going to be a very fruitful year and really happy to be here.
The only other addition I have to Patrick's biography before I make a request of the board to accept the hiring of Patrick is that he was a frequent library user and frequent storytime dad as well. So
Oh yeah.
appreciate that Patrick is from Troy and can share his experience and his network to help make the library a great place. So thank you, Patrick.
Thank you.
Would you like to make that?
Good.
Okay. I would like to, are we accepting the hiring or, because we've already done that with PIO position.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the hiring of Patrick Kiley as the Public Information Officer for the Troy Public Library. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mhm. And all in favor?
Aye.
No further discussion. Okay,
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you all.
We won't load all of our hopes and dreams onto you right now. But I do know Patrick.
I know there's a lot of energy, so
Some of the projects that Patrick will be working on are helping the board with the long range plan, facilitating, whether it's community surveys, focus groups, discussions. Patrick and I are talking about reworking the website. Patrick and I are again trying to find grant opportunities to further the library, and leverage some of the partnerships that we have. Patrick is helping us with internal communications as well as external communications, so press releases, budget presentations, things like that. So very excited to have Patrick join us.
That's a good strong list to start.
Does that include the social media?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
That would be external communications.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Website and everything.
Yep.
Okay. Does that mean that the board page edits would go through Patrick?
The board page can still go through like Lindsay at this point. Yeah, and then we'll kind of transition it also in the future.
Any other questions or discussion on Patrick? Okay, thank you for joining. Feel free to stick around if you'd like.
I have a few minutes and then I gotta jet.
All right, let's move on to president's report. Or do we want to go back to, are you feeling ready on finance?
I think so.
Okay, is Becca doing anything on our presentation?
No, Becca is an employee at the Lexington branch.
Right, okay.
Mhm.
Okay,
So in finance, we discussed an issue where we are looking at whether there's some inaccuracies as to how people were paid, what staff members were paid. Currently, I don't know whether you want to go into that now.
well, we have a couple things, so I'm looking at the agenda. We've got treasurer's report,
Support, yes.
the approval of expenditures, the 2025 budget revisions, selection of the auditor, and the Schwab account. At the end, we've got payroll audit status. So if we
Oh,
can make
okay,
it through
so,
the other things first.
I will say the lawyer was expecting a call at 5:35.
Okay.
Okay, how are you doing that? Are you just physically calling?
Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
then let's go ahead and call, let's go into executive session and we'll call Nick. So, I'd like to make a motion to enter executive session at 5:47 PM. And, we will be discussing the, compensation of specific employees and the findings from the current payroll audit. So, at this time, we're gonna pause the recording. Becca, you can still stay on, but we're gonna put you in a hold. And we're gonna have to ask, members of the public to leave the room for this period.
You don't know how long you're gonna be.
We don't, I can tell you it's gonna probably be a little lengthy.
Might be 10 minutes.
I'm going.
Yeah, we'll try and make it 10.
Hey, Maria, you made a motion.
Oh, that's sorry.
Yeah.
Do I have a second to enter
That
executive?
was very annoying.
Actually, all in favor?
Right.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay.
You got that right?
No, is Becca still there? She's not there.
Waiting, no, not joined, wait.
I'm struggling to. I feel like if she was there,
Above, I think.
it just says join.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
yeah,
there.
there's no waiting room anymore.
Was there still anyone out in the lobby?
No. Caitlin's just in the office.
You're
We-
recording, you're on.
We are, okay.
Yep.
All right, wonderful. Can I pass that mic back down here? Thank you. Thank you. We exited executive session at 7:10 PM. There is one action,
It looks like the monkey's good.
oh,
Turned off, so.
Yeah, maybe turn it off.
okay, thank you. We exited executive session at 7:10 PM. One action item, I would like to make a motion to acknowledge the correct 2026 salary line item to reflect an increase of $9,836.93. Do I have a second?
A second.
Marie Gavazzi, and all in favor?
Aye.
Wonderful, thank you. Okay, Marie, what other finance topics would you like to cover? We need to do the approval of expenditures.
So we reviewed the reports. The monthly reports, which I believe are in your packets. I will say that I looked at the revenues minus expenses and found about $57,000 between the two. About 47,000 will go to the new position, which will leave 10,000. And some of that, the reason that we're not having more money left over is because we have received much less from the city than we anticipated. Also, we're looking closely at cash on hand because we're down to the wire as far as getting new tax money from the city, which we expect around the beginning of March. So we have approximately 2 months to cover. So that's the report. As far as the bills, I'd like to move that, sorry, lost track of it. I'd like to move that we approve $136,885.04 for the bills this month.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Just to confirm that number, Marie, it's $136,885.04.
$136,885.04.
4 cents.
Also on here is the 2025 budget revisions, and I'm not sure what that refers to because we didn't make any.
Yeah, okay, that's great. I think I'm gonna maintain that as 2026, I'll take it off, and then I think we just have that as an ongoing thing, if it exists. So, because we wanted to look at them more often, but apologies.
And it's an ongoing item on the finance
Finance.
committee
So we'll take it off.
agenda. Because of that, exactly because of that. And we'll certainly have to be looking at the 2026 budget.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you. Yeah, my draft hit the real time.
The next item on the agenda tonight is the selection of the auditor for 2026. The finance committee approved MMB for the new auditor. There's someone who has been recommended by other libraries, and their charges are competitive with those we've had for Bonadio.
And you did solicit for quotes.
We did, yes. Von Dio provided a letter of engagement, MBB and Co provided a letter of engagement. One response that we received was that this firm is no longer doing it, and then there was one no reply.
Do we need to
So,
make motion?
yes, so I make a motion that we approve engagement of MMB as the auditor going forward.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimous.
The date that they had provided was April 14th. I can.
The day before tax.
Are they taking a vacation?
Yeah.
What is that date for?
To begin engagement with us once we sign.
And, as part of that, I gave you a rough estimate of what I think we have left over from 2025. But they'll give us the precise amount that we have once they do their audit.
And I do just want to not slow down the meeting, but just remind people that we knew that there would be some inconsistencies with our bookkeeping and kind of the early portion of the year in the first quarter. So Lindsay and I are anticipating having to review that again.
The next item is the Schwab account. The finance committee recommended that $50,000 be added to the account to begin. We had approved the past month. Lindsay is the person who will manage the account. So I think we should move again for the board.
Yeah.
I move that we add $50,000 to the Schwab account. And we're not doing more just because it's so iffy as far as what we have in terms of what we have to pay cash on hand, so forth with at this time of year.
But at this time, she is managing it, you two have access to it.
Read level.
I don't currently,
I don't currently either.
but
Okay,
we're working
We're
on it.
working on it.
because that was from last month, that's
Yeah.
part, okay, so just wanna make sure that that didn't get lost.
Yep.
No, we're trying to make that happen.
Okay,
And we're not necessarily looking to approve this every time.
No, this is just something that came out of finance
Yeah.
that is a way of getting started.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries unanimously.
And we already covered payroll audit status. Is there anything else on finance or pay to proceed? Okay, director's report.
My apologies, I do not have a formal director's report for this month. December was a quiet month overall. I wanted to thank the Friends of the Library for funding the staff holiday party, which was held at the Hart Cluett Museum. We had, I think it was close to 30 or 40 people attending. Really nice time. Kathy Sheehan and the group were very gracious, so.
oh, that can't be changed.
Yes. So that was very nice. In terms of library operations, there was a dead tree that was removed from the front of the Lansingburg branch in early December, so we no longer have sort of the branches and limbs hanging onto the roof as we're going to start the roof construction project at Lansingburg. So very excited about that. And otherwise, December was a very slow month with the holidays.
Tree.
I forget what company we had contract.
It was in the bills.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a footnote.
Advantage Tree Service.
Thank you, sorry.
So we do unfortunately need a written report.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, as
No,
long
no,
as you
no.
get it for us for next time.
Yeah, no, like I said, I apologize.
You can keep it short.
Yep.
But I found that our bylaws, I don't have to provide a written precedent, but you do,
I for sure do. Yes, absolutely.
unless we change.
Yes.
Okay.
So for my February, for my February, I will include January and December.
Thank you.
There we go.
That works. Hoopla spending report
Yes.
or personnel status. I'm sorry, there should be a bullet between Patrick Hiley, whose last name did not make it on here, and a new hard return before personnel status report.
So the as far as the personnel status report, as it relates to library assistants, we have made job offers to 2 new library assistants and they have accepted. So we're very excited for that. One of the candidates will be starting later this month. Another candidate will be starting in late February. His daughter just had a baby, so wanted to spend time with the new grandchild.
And that'll help with hours and open.
Exactly, yes. Both of these are 15-hour week positions. One is at the Lansingburg branch, one is at the main library.
Do you want to discuss the
If we could discuss the reorganization as it pertains to specific employees and their job status.
right, so I'd like to make a motion to enter executive session at 7:22 PM to discuss personnel status with regard to specific job offers and titles that are in discussion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, Anthony, and all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
All right,
Okay.
back in.
Wonderful. It's 7:36 PM. We came out of executive session. No actions were taken. Hoopla spending report.
Yes, so I will pass one set of document, one that way, one this way. We'll pass it around. So what I have, the one spreadsheet from Upper Hudson is an overview of our e-content circulation, digital circulation for 2025. And we can go over that. The other item, I'll ask Lindsay to, give us a breakdown, from our general ledger of spending related to, overdrive, which is, specifically related to our ERO spending, and then the cost of Hoopla. You might notice with the general ledger, report that, the dates don't start until August. The previous, business manager, and it kind of incorrectly placed things, so Lindsay had to do a reclassification of some of these expenses. So on the back page, you'll see like, there are four, kind of, hoopla payments. But these are throughout the entire year.
So that's the larger.
Yes, so just at a very high level, looking at our digital circulation before I get into hoopla specific. So our ebook circulation is going up, audiobooks, great.
Wait, where are we? Oh,
The Upper Hudson, yep, on this form. So looking at the top left, it's comparing, our circulation from the Troy Public Library to the entire system. And this is for all of 25. I did not realize how many people are reading periodicals and magazines digitally. That has grown 56% from from 2024. So that was encouraging.
Everybody has a paywall, sorry, keep that.
Yeah, and in total, our digital circulation went up 12%. So slightly higher than the rest of the system. Overall, you can see the year over year comparing 24 and 25 at the bar graph at the bottom of the page. If you flip that over, we can start to examine our overdrive users, compared to our monthly Hoopla users. I do want to make a note that with overdrive, we are able to see the annual unique users. Hoopla users are kind of shrouded in mystery. They don't give us a lot of information or details, about who is using the service. Some of the other kind of drawbacks to Hoopla, I'll start with sort of the more practical ones first. Really, we cannot control spending, with Hoopla. Libby and Overdrive give us the opportunity to purchase licenses, for our e-content, that will typically have sort of longer periods. With Hoopla, we aren't able to curate what materials are being selected the way that we do with Libby and Overdrive. And we are also charged per circulation of material. Now for things like a binge pass, those will be at a higher rate than, let's say, an audiobook or an ebook. With movie and TV streams on Hoopla, again, there are some costs associated with that. The pro of Hoopla is that it is on demand, that there is no waiting. So for many people, they love the instant gratification. They love that they can just see, the item that I am looking for is here and I can grab it. On a larger level, as a vendor, the company that owns Hoopla is called Midwest Tape. So because librarians are not involved in curating what books and materials are selected to go into Hoopla. Recently, Hoopla has been overrun with AI slop. So you have, basically AI generated books that have incorrect or harmful information or are just, copyright issues waiting to happen. There is, as an example, I believe, a self-help author. Someone did a deep dive on in terms of like mental health and
It was
wellness
sent to me.
and trauma informed care. And it turns out to be like 25 AI generated books on mental health under a pseudonym who's like a college student in the Bay Area
Like a fake photo.
with a fake photo and everything. So that's part of the reason why many libraries across the country and locally are deciding to move away from Hoopla. When we look at the numbers for Troy, when we look at our peak of 262 monthly users, not knowing if they're unique or not, we were paying roughly $1,800 per month for the service. The costs were kind of spiraling out of control when we compare, let's say 250 users to about 2,000 users for Overdrive. So for what we were paying for Hoopla, we were lucky that our cost only increased 50% between 2024 and 2025. Many libraries saw increases, triple digits. I heard of a library where circulation grew 450%. Or not circulation. Well, and yes to both because they're connected, but the cost had increased 450% in 1 year. So it can make it really challenging for a library on a limited budget to try and guess, how successful or how expensive Hoopla is going to be. On the one hand, we want to promote high quality products to our users, but on the other hand, if we can't control the cost for it, it becomes difficult. You'll notice the drop off in Hoopla users beginning in August of this year. I had worked with the system to try to implement some cost control measures. Hoopla puts up a little bit of a fight when you try to push back on the product. So at the time, East Greenbush and myself, along with Albany, we're exploring these kind of limits on the cost per circulation for items. I believe East Greenbush and I both ended up going with items that were under $2 per circulation being available to members of the public. So that's why the numbers fell off at that point. It looked like what people were primarily using Hoopla for were streaming television shows, movies. To a lesser extent, it was ebooks and audiobooks that were not on Libby. We did have a significant group of people, from what I could see, that were using comics. So at the system level, we were looking at this and we decided to purchase a membership for Comics Plus. You may have seen a social media post about that. So for reference, Comics Plus is costing us about $1,100 a year. And Hoopla's at the time it was $21,000 last year, slightly under $21,000 even after implementing the price controls. So it's challenging. Hoopla is very popular with library patrons because there's that sort of instant gratification. There are wait times that are associated with Overdrive. I will step it back to kind of a higher level. Our library system has a very robust system-wide collection, and that is because each member library is contributing something called the ERO to Upper Hudson, which is basically we all agree to commit a certain amount of funding to buy shared licenses for all of the member libraries in Upper Hudson. So when public library systems compare the average wait time for Overdrive users, when we compare the total holdings of our collection, Upper Hudson has one of the best digital collections, reasonable wait times and higher volume compared to some of the other systems because they have always had this sort of shared spending model. So last year was the first year that Troy was able to fully contribute to our ERO threshold. That is a formula that's figured out at the system level that will look at things like the library's total physical circulation, the library's service population. Go
There are
ahead.
some systems, you're saying, just to reiterate.
Yeah.
Some systems pay more in, and we've never been able to pay our total amount of what they recommend until last year.
Yeah, so some libraries, for instance, a good example is the Castleton Public Library. I believe they're only required to pay a certain amount. They end up paying 170%. Because they feel there's value in developing that digital collection. Gilderland and Bethlehem, even though the system formula says, we're only expecting you to pay this much, they understand the value of our community having, a great digital collection. So that way they contribute more to the overall system.
It's because we can financially do it.
That's correct, yes. I will say the other part of this is that by choosing to move away from Hoopla, Overdrive has a program called the Advantage Program, which allows us to, which allows any library to purchase titles and their patrons receive priority. So any of the libraries in the system would also be able to access this, but let's say you are a Troy person looking for the newest James Patterson book, and we reallocate this $20,000 into Advantage spending. You are more likely to be, if you're a Troy patron, we have a copy available, you're at the top of the list, and you get it faster and it feels good. Yeah, so that is at a broad level, why the library is moving away from Hoopla.
It's a small number of people
Yeah,
in comparison to.
right. So, that was sort of the information that I was using, and part of it too is kind of the difficulty with dealing with the principle of it, where because right now there's just so much AI garbage on there, and because the cost is really hard to budget and feels out of control. That's why a lot of libraries are kind of taking a stand with Midwest Tapes and Hoopla and just saying, it's not a sustainable model for library vendors to do business this way. We need to find a better way to do this. So I know within the past year nationwide, there's been a lot of vendors pulling away from Hoopla. So, I was just gonna say, if anyone has questions,
yes.
yeah.
You mentioned that you're saying the users of Hoopla were looking for things like television shows. And I know last time you said maybe movies, but
Yes.
available on Overdrive or not, or is it just reading material?
Overdrive right now is just reading material. The idea is that the money for Hoopla is separate from the money that's dedicated to the ERO. So for instance, there is a really great movie and video streaming project called Canopy. Which is we received a quote, and it was about like $12,000 for the year. Which, so that was it, is when we do the messaging, as we identify these other products, we don't want to leave people without options. So knowing that Canopy is also very highly requested, we can say, well, Hoopla is going away, but like, look at this really great thing that we're trying to offer in its place between Comics Plus, potentially Canopy. We haven't really formalized that yet.
I do.
Or doubling down and committing more of that money into Overdrive.
Now, Canopy, of course, you'll get more documentaries and more of your
Art
artists, movies. You won't get some of your television shows
Yep.
that you also can't find on DVD in our system, or let's see, the Sal system.
Yep.
They're rare, and if you love Nordic noir,
Yeah, also true.
you don't get anyplace else. So this is why,
Yeah.
for those people who that's what they enjoy, and that's what they look to their libraries for, because you're not going to find it on even some of the other streaming services that you pay for. And some people can't pay for a lot of the streaming services.
Say this was supposed to be about a 2-minute
Yeah.
piece. I think we're gonna get it. Right.
I will just say though that I am always open to feedback about like developing the collection. Nordic Noir, if that's a thing that we need to spend more time and effort on, we can do that.
I guess that just is.
Hypothetical example.
It's one of the ones they,
Yeah.
then you can find your Nordic right, you can find this in it.
I didn't know what that was, so I have a note for after this. Okay,
That's love.
all right. Is it okay to move on?
I will just say that we have to provide 60 days termination notice. We provided that to the system.
Okay.
We are, now that Patrick is here, working on a communication plan to roll that out. So the wider group, the last day will be March 6th,
So
which is a Friday.
We're terminating period.
Yeah.
And will that notification involve replacement? That said, here
Yeah.
how you. Okay.
We're developing, I don't believe the other like major libraries have announced it, but as a group of directors, we've been, one of the libraries was gracious enough to share their kind of strategic communication plan with the rest of us. When this is all, when the dust settles, I really don't know that there will be. Some of the smaller libraries will still be using it. I don't know how many of the larger ones will be.
Okay, to move on? Okay, thank you. This is a lot, but it's good.
You're welcome.
Yeah, really appreciate that. President's report, so, I did want to acknowledge you, Tim, and say. I had every intention of giving the card, instead you got a lot of correspondence over the few days,
Yeah.
and we would have all signed it, maybe we'll give you a card later. This is from all of the board to say thank you and happy anniversary, it is to the rock.
Thank you for that. That's it. Thank you.
We hope that you can feed and fuel yourself, and wanted to say happy anniversary, happy holidays, and thank you. So.
You too.
Do you say you want to have anything else you'd like to add?
What a year.
I think that was your sentiment too.
Right.
Okay. 2025 annual foundation meeting, we did meet in December.
That's great.
Thank you to the foundation. They did give us $32,000 with some change in there. And we're thankful to them for that, which is earmarked for the
Roof at Lansingburg.
Lansingburg. And we also met with the Friends for their board meeting for 2025 and are working with them, like I mentioned earlier, to talk about the MOU and 2026 planning next week. Is there anything that you would like to cover with the Friends? Is there anything that you would like to discuss with us? That other idea?
One of the things that I had talked to Rhea about is we need space for programs and particularly children's programs at Lansingburg. I had, again, it was a great day of shoveling. I had the idea to move the bookseller into the art gallery at the main library, which is in front of the program room downtown.
Does everyone know where that is?
Gallery upstairs to the right.
Art upstairs to the right, yeah. So if you've ever attended a program at the main library, it's sort of that antechamber before the program room. And the thought is that, one, we need to be able to do programs and children's and families programs in an accessible space at Lansingburg on the first floor before 2027.
Unless we want to finance an elevator.
Exactly. And how do we, do it in a way that respects the Friends? How do we do it in a way that makes them feel included, helps them, maybe generate revenue for the library, and also gives them like a workspace to process books, take book donations and things like that. So the idea is kind of like, exiting through the gift shop. So if we are conducting programs in the space upstairs, folks will have to walk in, walk through the Friends bookstore, go to their program, and then sort of exit through the Friends bookstore, giving them an opportunity to see all the really great things that Fred and the volunteers are curating for us. Right now, behind the program room, there is a larger supply room. So as the staff and I have been consolidating all of the supplies to like general library supplies, it's not one department, it's not another department, if that space becomes a Friends sorting and workroom, we now have elevator access from the first floor upstairs. So that should be fine if Friends need to take book carts. We have an area for them to do their work. We also have, again, a higher visibility, higher traffic place for the Friends to have their kind of regular sales with the bookseller. And it gives us the program space that we need at Lansingburg. And right now, with the bookseller only being open 2 days a week, it's just an underutilized space at a branch that really needs, we really need to be doing more programs.
So there are, if I'm visualizing the space correctly
Yeah.
at Lansingburg, there's the built-ins into the wall, then there's ones that's the ones that run, those,
That's correct.
that's ours, like that belongs to the library, not the Friends.
Mhm.
Okay, so
That's
that
my
would stay, what would come out is the books.
Well, and so here's the other thing is, if it is functionally better for that to be a program space, right? And we need to move those bookcases, right? So that way we have the open space. That is something those bookcases could easily fit into
Okay.
come here and be in the art gallery. We do also have a nice collection of historical furniture laying around in the basement that could also be repurposed. So, yeah. So
Be
that was
careful what you
the.
put with children's programming.
It's-
Nice furniture.
Um, yeah, so this, I kind of brought up informally in conversation with the friends. I hope to have further discussions with them about it, get their opinion and feedback.
Is the goal to talk to Brenda about it next Wednesday?
It is.
Okay.
Yep.
And because it sounds like we kind of propose it wasn't the right venue in December.
No.
You've had a chance to think through it.
Yep.
Are there concerns or questions or comments from anyone?
No, but if this goes forward, I would absolutely be remiss, and if hopefully Cecilia watches this. This is a perfect opportunity to communicate with the community about how they want to envision that space for children in partnership with the library professionals that do the programming. Like, it's a perfect win-win-win opportunity to do that.
Because you're saying Lansingburg is always wanting more programs for kids.
Exactly, and like being included in like this is what we're thinking about the design, this is what, whatever it is. I think would be like a community conversation on it, like welcoming folks in to see it and envision together, I think would be like really good.
Do you mean specifically for the bookseller or do you mean for like post construction?
Maybe both, but maybe starting it with like, this is what we're doing right now to shore up space, and this is what the space is, this is what we're hoping to bring into it, and what we're hoping to do with it. What is your feedback as a community? What do you want out of children's programming? I mean, that is the number one thing I hear in Lansingburg.
That was my question is if you get that room, when you have that room now available, we don't have a children's room, but can you create a temporary children's room or do you want it from programs?
Oh, I mean, children's room is sort of the biggest priority, quite frankly, yeah.
So that would be.
Yeah.
And then you're dropping the whole, never.
It really is trying to figure out balancing. We have, the space on the second floor is wonderful at Lansingburg. You can't access it if you're in a
Right.
wheelchair or have,
Exactly.
mobility aid. So a lot of people don't get to see the sewing classes and other, programs that happen up there, the yoga classes that take place. But first and foremost, we just need a children's space, so.
Are there any? Any other questions?
So you said you foreshadowed this with the friends?
Yeah.
Any reaction?
There's some people who are very generally excited about it.
good.
A lot of very enthusiastic, wanting to be back downtown. So, but and that was only a portion of the group. So, bringing it to, kind of the leadership of the friends and then the wider board, I think is, the kind of next steps for me.
So it feels like it'll be a more formal thing.
Yeah, in the agreement, the library has the ability to just kind of reclaim space and tell people what space they have. To do it that way is very brutish. So it's better to have the conversation, just work through it.
Right, the MOU states that there is space for the friends. It doesn't say it's that space.
Yeah, the MOU says that the library will designate a space for the friends. Yeah.
And I was just told from one of the days that the kids had off, was like 2 weeks ago,
Mhm.
around. It's great that we have this space, but my kid cannot play in it.
That kitchen,
And so,
the play kitchen at
yes, that
Lansing,
was exactly
still
what was
popular.
mentioned,
Yep.
yes, so.
Yeah. Great.
It's like, yeah, I cannot tell you what a PR win that would be.
Treat kitchen.
Yeah.
Alright, sorry. Okay, is it okay to move on from, okay, the friends, any others?
It's great, thank you.
Love that, again. You don't just have two ideas, but those two ideas recently are great.
I'm happy to be known for 2 ideas.
It's more
I was just gonna say that.
Okay, board transition, so, We have an open trustee seat, and I think I've already notified everybody that we had two candidates, we're down to one candidate. Unfortunately, the other could not proceed. We have talked to maybe a half dozen people or more since we had our last meeting. A number of folks were interested in specific committees, either helping with the development committee when we get to the ad hoc committee, or participating in the long range planning process and on that committee, but they weren't necessarily wanting to be a trustee unless it was absolutely necessary. I did call one of our former board members and spoke with them yesterday. They did allude to the fact that they would not want to be considered as a trustee at this time because of other obligations they have since committed to for 2027. They could not be here through the end of year. So really, we are down to one candidate in active conversation that we could consider, unless we want to go to a larger pool of applicants, which I don't love because that's labor, but I also don't mind it if we think that we're going to get the right fit, or for some reason don't want to make a decision tonight. So I'm going to ask for feedback at this point. We really need more people to help with the board. There's a lot of work, but it's going to be, my only concern is that we need people that have certain skills or knowledge in certain spaces, and do we have the right fit for that? So yeah, does anyone have feedback or thoughts? So I was hoping we'd be making a decision with a vote of two candidates today.
The only other thing I was going to add to what you said really is just, or again, lived experience, you know, in Troy and diversity and things like that.
Yes.
Yep.
Which we thought we had all.
Yep.
Anyone have a strong opinion in one direction or the other? And I know an idea had been floated that we could also just stay with that 6. That might have had a visible reaction, but
And that was me that floated that idea.
yeah.
I was more just for temporary, it wasn't a permanent full year
No.
thing, it was more just to like breathe on. Seeing what kind of pans out for the next month or two. If there's any other avenues that come about, or just again, not rushing into a decision necessarily, that was just the idea.
I think we had laid out the options, and you know, a couple months go by and then we're halfway through a year on the board, and not to say that it doesn't still benefit us to have somebody
Yes.
even for half a year, but you know, better to have somebody in sooner than get up to speed and actually take more active role in the committee.
What is that? I guess my question is, I full-heartedly hear what you're saying, and I don't necessarily disagree. I just wonder sometimes if that feeling or that perspective trumps a perspective of wanting a candidate who fits maybe more appropriately. So because I know there's concerns about
Conflict of interest.
yeah. So I don't want to necessarily. You know what I'm trying to say?
But can I just say something too, like, because it's just facts?
Yeah.
This is also someone who came within like what, a dozen
Yeah.
votes?
Yeah.
So like.
Yeah.
9, thank you, Evan.
Or
Who came within 9 votes,
Yeah.
and so. Had that person gotten on, that conflict of interest would have already been here.
Yeah.
I'll say this, full transparency, don't really care if he watches this or not. I found Lewis to be very compelling at the Meet the Candidates. The responses we got were like there wasn't much to of responses.
You mean the written ones?
The written ones, correct, and so those were very underwhelming and sort of made me feel like, whew, all right. So you can't do any of these things, but you probably can, and you're probably underselling yourself and all of those things, and so that left much to be desired for me.
he was answering that on vacation too.
Yeah.
True. Yes, so there's also things I just don't know Lewis very well, so I feel like we have so much on our plate that I am concerned currently, that it's either we leave it vacant and then by the time it's like we get around, it'll be the time anyway, or we do something like quickly to either like go through the process again of getting someone, or we do just offer it to Lewis and look at this as, you know, what is it, 8 months, 9 months to pick it up?
No, November, well, to the vote, but yeah, yes, on to November.
I don't know.
I'm gonna make a suggestion that between those two possibilities, and I think we do need to have a board of seven, and sooner than later.
Yeah.
But since there is some question about giving us another choice, or looking at choices, that we set a time, like a time limit for how long we would let it go, instead of saying, oh, we'll keep pushing this off, say by next month or by the second month. So it'd be either February or March, say March. We don't have someone that we can vote on in March. We go with what, there's no choice. I won't say there's no choice. I too felt it was very, very compelling.
Yeah.
I really felt sorry that badly about getting those 9 votes. So as happy and thrilled as I am at being back on the board. So, you know, there was that, I felt badly about beating them. But you're right, he did say there were a lot of no experience. If we say by March, we make that decision. That gives us a little bit of time. I'd even say in 4 weeks, but 4 weeks isn't a lot of time at all, I know. It'll go too fast. But March, and then we have to make that, and then we'll have that rest of the year, because then we have decisions that it's best if we had a full board. To make those, it's not just the work, it's also the final decision.
Right, but considering there's 3 of us who were here when we did this twice already, the process in which we created felt good, but it was intense, because if we put this out, we get 12 people. We probably have to get back to all 12 of those people, and then you've got to wrangle all these folks together outside of the committees that they're already on to talk to these folks to do this. So it's a lot, and I don't know if there's no police coming in to tell us like you didn't do it exactly like you did it 6 months ago. But
We could just put the questions out with a form and get answers.
right, and so I guess there's that. I don't mean to complicate it further, but I do agree, because there are issues of straight up like quorum and things like that of to why we need to be 7. In fact, we believe we need to be 9, and so like there's definitely no question as to like we need more people. But
Well, and we haven't talked about the charter, but we are, and that's probably next, if we can get that charter pushed through, we are gonna go to 9 to 11, and when we do. Does that mean we're gonna start an election, or we're gonna wait until the next time period and suddenly get a whole bunch of people all at once?
Yeah,
Which,
I think we get to decide that, but I would imagine that we could just be filling the vacancies with our current constitution plus filling all the open seats, you know, possibly on a
we have to term it out, yeah.
exactly a termed out basis, so that someone will only be on for 2 or 1 years until everybody's cycled out.
That really is hard, because there is a lot of effort, as you know, into the campaigning, into the work, and then
It is.
to get involved, and especially if you're not familiar with the roles and responsibilities, by the time you're up to speed, it's almost the end of the year sometimes. And then you have to go that whole process again, and there's never any guarantees about how a vote's gonna come out.
Yeah.
I agree with March as the deadline, if we either need it by February or March.
Yeah, or tonight, so, I'll leave it at that. No, I'm not saying that's.
No, it's valid, it's an option on
It
the
was a
table.
suggestion, so it's up to what people think. then.
I'm curious, did anybody hear of anyone at the time the election was beginning that may have shown interest in running but decided not to for whatever reason?
oh yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
And those are the people that are not interested.
At least for the most part, like the most serious people we've already talked to.
Okay. So we may have a hard time finding.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
When there's people I think of, I've already been told, no.
No, I hit up the first 3, I hit up 3 or 4 people from the last appointing process also, and they were like, yeah, keep me in mind for the future.
But not
About
to
that.
further complicate it, but like probably even within all of our networks, none of us knew Cecilia.
No,
And
that's
then we
true.
ended up with Cecilia, not ended up, like, love to have Cecilia, but like,
I
would
remember
clone her, but like,
There was like a young mother at the Lansingburg info session who works
Yes.
in the office of the budget. And it's like, oh, what a great skill set you have, like, and you lived in Lansingburg.
Yeah.
She did run.
Oh.
And my initial thought when Caroline announced that she was stepping down was, I mean, impressed as I was with the process that you guys ran with the search last year, it would be a huge draw on our resources to do something like that again, when we're also trying to start off long-range planning and, I mean, just do all the operations of running committees and whatnot. So the fact that you guys were able to pull from that pool of candidates and reach out back out to those people who you already met with and vetted seemed great. And fortunately, it didn't yield anyone. And the fact is, Lewis did take it on himself to run for the election, and I also was impressed with how he answered questions at the candidate forums. So, not really knowing him well before, seemed like he had a passion for it and
a willingness to learn. I guess there's something to be said about someone who's like, I don't know.
exactly. And did get back right away, even on vacation, with responding to Rio. So
I did like his enthusiasm. I like that he stayed late. I like that he helped pick up chairs. Like he's willing to do something, which from a timing perspective is always my worry, even if the other candidate, maybe we liked them more from their experience and lived experience. We always knew that they were going to have less time available. And I think there are certain things that we do duty wise that do require time, just someone to sit down. Minutes, and I can't, my worry right now very selfishly is that I have to let go of long range planning and I have to let go of probably personnel. I can't put him in personnel, and I haven't figured out long range yet.
If I can just
Yeah.
interject quickly too, given the overall state of the library, right, which is reflected as part of my performance evaluation. We have so much need. We really have a dire need. You talk about board service, time, talent, treasure, and things like that. And I will joke and I will say we've tried everything except money to fix the library, so we should try money. And that comes in having, again, well-connected board members in the community and things like that who are able to tap into their local networks and talk about, the value of the library. So that's, as good a candidate as he is, that's the thing where I'm like, pragmatically, what the library needs is really some help with development. In my mind, if we can focus on prioritizing candidates who have that skill set or those connections, when we talk about like historic gifts that are given to RPI or to Russell Sage, like those really are a demonstration of the leverage of the networks, so.
I do feel like we lost some of that in both Kirsten and Carolyn.
Agreed.
And those are two well-connected people that know this community, that know people with deep funds.
Mhm.
And I am looking at the two of you, not saying that we don't have people
Yeah.
with deep funds, but
I'd also like to know where those deep funds bear out,
That's-
is what I would be
that's-
asking, because it's interesting that we know these people, but like, where are those foundational dollars?
I will note that Carolyn did give a good donation in December of
Absolutely.
her.
Sure.
Absolutely.
And they haven't gone that far. They still want to be involved. So in a way, maybe if we're focusing on that development person, there's other ways to incorporate
Bring them in.
someone.
Yeah.
Not maybe as the board member.
Mhm.
My thought is if you're board, you need to be a little bit more of a jack of all trades and that,
Mhm.
than just development. But there's a way of incorporating someone with that skill. And we have other skills too. In another capacity of some sort.
We're gonna have a development committee.
Yeah, and we're going to identify some of who those people are if we're mapping out all of that within long range planning.
Evan's point is well taken though. Yeah.
And still look for the money.
Yeah.
And we have someone now that's also looking at the grants, who also may be able to figure out how to tap into some of the things that aren't per se grant, but other ways of. Dollars.
We can also follow Nate's advice and just take a bucket down the street. I'm so sorry.
I'm willing to do whatever it takes.
Sorry.
It's
It's late.
handling.
We're getting loopy. It's 8:16.
Are you hearing that we wanna make a decision now and just do it?
I'm comfortable to say I'm fine to do this.
All right.
Lewis.
That's my question, is it a vote for Lewis tonight? And that's, I mean, that's the only candidate we have, so would we like to go to vote?
Yeah,
I'm comfortable with that.
Sandra.
I'm getting no reaction,
have-
so I'm just
Are you with us?
straight faced. You play your cards down.
I was thinking that if he's interested in running again,
Mhm.
why not give him a head start?
Yeah.
We're getting
Yeah.
involved now.
Okay. All right. Okay, so I would like to put, I struggle with how to start a motion. I would like to make a motion. Wait,
Why don't you just say, I move?
I move that we consider,
To your point.
that we appoint, Louis Saragusa. Did I say that correctly? To the Troy Public Library Board of Trustees. Do I have a second?
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes unanimously. Louis, you're not watching.
But if you are.
I'll contact you tonight.
Someday he may see this.
I'll contact you to see if you're still interested. Right?
His landlord will be pleased.
His landlord?
No.
Who's his landlord?
I thought you were gonna say me and I was
I was about
gonna
to say,
throw
what-
myself out the window.
We have another conflict of interest. What do I need to worry about?
The Comiskey.
Oh. Well, yes.
So they just said they were disappointed that he hadn't won.
Well, then you can go give them the good news.
There are at least 800 people that voted for him, so, okay. Louis will be added as a trustee. I'll contact him. We'll talk about onboarding and we'll go from there. I'd like to give some full onboarding and then not drop him in
Yeah.
to stuff until the next.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Okay.
Yes.
We are gonna have to coordinate, and go through it, so.
And I would just say, cause it's a lot, like reach out to who you need to spend some time with them.
Yeah.
Like
good
don't
idea.
just take it on.
No.
Like is what I'm saying.
I don't, I can't, I couldn't pick up a anniversary card, so I'm gonna.
There we go.
I need
That's all
to
I'm saying.
letting go of some stuff, so onboarding assistance would be great.
Yep.
Let me know if you chair a committee and want to scoop Louis up for some reason, if you heard something in his answers at any point and went, oh, he belongs here.
I'll take him. No, seriously, I think the more people that know about finance.
Yeah.
Yeah, spending the
Okay.
first year on finance is really important. I agree with you. And I still don't get it, so.
I feel like he'd be really good on Bill, so that's why I'm also wondering, just that all of that, his answers were very like tactical and,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know, but, you
And
know,
maybe asking.
yeah, we have to ask him for sure, so I'm gonna put those down as question marks and then we'll go from there. And then everyone will be involved, so let's go down to, committee assignments and chairs. We have a trustee, that's great, so I don't think I have an answer for this until we talk to Louis and get some feedback. But then we'll go and rotate, but I did want to announce that Samantha Hurtler has joined the personnel committee, so thank you. So we do have 3 there.
Nice.
I'm so sorry you got added to a giant meeting. We are gonna be putting more schedules in place, if everyone. Have we already done, most of you have a set schedule, finance is set, building is set.
Yep.
Personnel needs to be set,
We have.
we did it.
We have one meeting for policy and governance, but because we didn't know what we were doing with the trustee, I didn't want to set anything standing yet.
Mhm.
So if Louis is joining or not joining, and we want to set, we can, I feel confident we could set a standing meeting time at our first meeting on the 22nd, whatever it is.
Okay. That'd be good to do it then.
Mhm.
And then personnel did make one, which is gonna be the first Monday of each month. To do, yeah, that's what we said. Did I invent that?
It was-
No, we didn't, we are right.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay. Yeah, which may mean that minutes come later, okay. Long range planning, we need to start meeting as a committee, on that, and. I think that my struggle is that I was gonna be a lot more involved with that, in co-chairing that with Evelyn. We've met just
Carolyn?
Evelyn.
Oh, in the
Evelyn.
past. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about when Carolyn was president.
No.
Sorry.
So we have met about it, talked about it, I know I've talked to you about it, but we needed. I think the transition to me being president meant that I was not able to do what I needed to here. And I'm already feeling behind on it, which I don't like, so. I think we need to talk about that one,
Can I interrupt you for a minute? Are we on long range planning?
Yeah.
Talking about, okay.
yeah,
Ad hoc.
ad hoc meeting. Um. Does anyone have a strong suggestion?
I don't know, for what, I'm sorry.
I think I need that to be a separate meeting outside of here where I truly think about my involvement on that, because I think I did not realize that I have to step back from that as a chair.
Mhm.
Because you're not supposed to have the president be a chair of
Oh,
that.
right.
So I think I would like to be involved, but I can't chair it.
And I don't mean to keep like pushing us out on this,
Mhm.
but it might actually be helpful to just get Lewis in.
Yeah.
The next meeting, start to have the conversation, set the first meeting.
I don't mean to interrupt. I guess my only concern is just knowing that it will most likely be a 6-month process. I don't want the long range planning to overlap with the budget
No.
advocacy and preparation.
Mhm.
Like that would just be a lot for
We wanna be
me and
done by
Lindsay
June.
and stuff like that. Yeah.
So you wanna get a meeting on the books?
Yeah, at least if we could, yeah.
And let me clarify that there are some things that are happening with it, so I am reaching out to Fred Miller, which we had talked about, to see if there's anyone that we might be able to work with locally that has strategy, long range planning experience as a consultant. I'm also reaching out, I was gonna talk to you, to some more national organizations that do this with the libraries, because I don't know that we're gonna find someone locally that has the kind of experience that we want.
Every library,
That's exactly.
yeah, okay.
And Evelyn and I spoke about reaching out to them, and I'm gonna do that.
Very good.
And then, Evelyn, I'm trying to remember what else we talked about. So we talked about potentially bringing in someone else to manage the process and the timeframe.
And how to approach it, how we're gonna take it apart, who's gonna be on the committee.
Yeah, and, oh, that's what, you're starting to work already on that list of every, I mean, it's just a list of anyone that.
We had a plan.
That way we can start, we're trying to do a giant brainstorm of anyone that could be involved, to then group them down and to go, okay.
I will also say the other thing that I can offer to the board is, I spoke with Patrick, on day one and let him know really. A big project for him in his first 6 months, could be working with the board on the long range planning committee and things like that,
Could he be on the committee with us?
He could, yep.
Okay. That'd be cool.
Mhm.
Because we're gonna need a comms plan.
Yep.
Like you said.
Mhm.
And we're gonna have to do that with you.
Mhm.
So, there are things that are, oh, and I'm also talking to Kirsten, because he had feedback on the long range plan and he would like to be a part of it. Carolyn, I also have a call with this week as well. So getting their feedback collected in from them not having a chance to do that before.
And maybe to mitigate a bit of your worry about it, I think most of the work to be done, even if it's not finished by the time budget starts, at least with the budget, looking at the other way, a lot of it is already, it's sort of crystallized. You know that you have to look at things that the long range plan will have nothing to do with, like utilities, etc., salaries, for the most part.
Truly, my biggest concern was like a situation where we're like conducting community focus groups while.
Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should be at more at the beginning anyway, so I think
Mhm.
by that point, we'll have a lot of the building blocks of your budget.
Yeah.
That this won't affect, other things can sort of. Be worked on slowly, where we can guesstimate a certain amount. If we have to have a specific dollar amount,
Mhm.
but I think it would work, so nothing is pressured to either be done too slowly or too quickly.
Yeah.
Both budget and long range plan.
Yep.
I didn't say that well at all, I know.
Oh, no, you did that one.
Yeah, and Evelyn we did meet, we brought some thoughts together just as chairs, and we're going, okay, well, let's wait until the new year. And now we're here, so,
Mhm.
but we need to know who is coming on and, that's what I'm thinking, yeah. So, okay, it's okay to move on from that, but we know we do need to get that scheduled, so let me talk.
So get the first meeting as a committee
Yeah,
Yeah.
schedule.
yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember, you're on it, right? Who else, is it just the three of us?
It was just the three of us.
Okay, that's fine.
Mhm.
So let's schedule that, and you
Yeah.
wanna doodle us? Can you send us doodle?
You want me to send, oh, sure.
Okay, thank you. But not this
Doodle.
week.
Doodle moodle.
Have you ever doodled?
Oh, yes.
Okay, wonderful. All right, we will doodle, thank you.
So it's just the three of us.
To start, and Tim, yeah. Okay, cool.
And under that ad hoc committees.
Yeah.
The final meeting of the 2025 election committee. I do have permission to schedule it now,
Wait, why are you looking at me?
because you told me I couldn't do it in December, but it.
Oh, yeah, you have permission now. I was like trying to remember.
and I wasn't sure if I needed to put it, and I could not remember, so thank
I
you.
just thought it might.
Yes, no, you're right, Marie, thank you. Yes, you have permission now.
I'm actually excited about that one. We'll make a giant list of everything we want to do. Okay. Union negotiation status, we're meeting with the union, I don't have anything else to add to. Okay.
Nope. Going well, meeting Thursday. Well, we are, I will say that, now that we're through the holiday season, we are trying to meet more regularly and more frequently. So we have 2 meetings scheduled this month as opposed to 1.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
In new business, charter revisions. Do you want to talk to that?
Yes, so, I can't remember where we had
Don't
last.
feel the
left
need to
off.
give all of that background, just like where we're at.
Yeah, where we're at right now is, I am still working on updates, to the draft, to bring to the board. Once the board agrees, we'll bring it to council for review. Once council has made edits, we can then bring it, to, Assemblymember McDonald, and Senator Ashby.
And that'll go to admin. Or
Mhm.
policy and governance.
Yep.
Okay, and,
Yes.
but you were advised that we need to add a little bit more to it,
Yes, that's correct.
just language for terms and how we run elections.
Terms, how we run elections, you're right, and then sort of how, board members rotate off.
Thank you. But the time is now, okay,
Yes.
so,
Well, the other, I guess the other item for discussion is whether or not the board wants to include language about being made whole in the charter, now that we have a Democratic majority on the local city council.
I suggested it when we started, and I'm suggesting it halfway in.
Yep.
Let's be legends.
And essentially the idea and thought was that we didn't have kind of the political goodwill to be able to do it in the past, so. I did attend the most recent city council meeting, as Marie had pointed out, I was prominently featured in the newspaper.
We saw.
Yeah, that was a lot.
I miss it.
Nope, but there were several council members who said that they would say support. Right?
Did you also get advice that if you're gonna do it once, so throw everything in there?
Exactly, yes, you know, the
So.
legislature does not like to review a library charter every single year. Yeah.
wonderful. Any other new business?
Yes,
Yes.
advocacy day, February 3rd.
Thank you, Marie.
Tim, did you want us?
Yeah, coordinate.
Yeah, well, one thing for the newer board members, Advocacy Day, the state library organization. Encourages library staff, library trustees, library friends, to show up, at the state legislative offices. So that way we can, directly speak to our, representatives about the importance of, our libraries in our communities and about funding libraries. Actually, I believe Assemblymember Ashley shared something about Assemblymember Romero. Writing it was the Times Union.
Yep, this morning, it's not bad.
An op-ed about fully funding the New York State Library. So this is an area where different legislative priorities are set by the New York Library Association. Oftentimes it will relate to school libraries, and then construction funding is another one of those major things. with Troy in particular, one of the things that I know is often advocated for is right now library construction funds cannot be used for restoration of historic buildings. At one point, there was a representative from downstate who had been kind of working for that to get traction and didn't go anywhere. But that's an example of how there are so many things that are unique to Troy specifically, and having more people from the board and more people from the community show up to speak directly to our representatives, it does make an impact. It does make a difference. So,
To make some shirts with like a,
oh heck yeah,
like
that's great.
rehabilitation or
Yeah,
I know.
restoration.
restoration.
What's the date again? What's the advocacy date?
February.
February 3rd.
Tuesday or.
I don't remember. It was.
Yeah, and
I'm
it's
gonna go
usually
pay for my own money.
The
like
actual
9 to 2.
Are there any
Yeah,
more
that's a
details
nice
about?
years.
Typically what will happen is the system will coordinate with all the representatives to like schedule times for us. So as it gets closer to the event, Chris from the system will send out an update to all the member libraries and say, here's the schedule for the day, here are the times that we're meeting with the
It's
representatives.
pretty close already.
Oh, I agree. Yep. Mhm.
Sometimes it changes that very day.
Yes.
Oh,
Schedule,
yeah.
Yep.
depending on,
Who's available?
yeah, if they're still in session and they get called out, it's fun, it's incredible. We've been over the years told, bring babies, bring children.
You have the UHLS meeting tomorrow.
Yes.
And that felt like something that was a major topic last year and they came out with the schedule, and so I think you're gonna probably be the person to let us know.
First,
Yeah. Is
But
that,
I wanted to bring it up today.
yeah,
Right, but if you hear.
that's what I mean.
Tomorrow,
If I
let us
hear
know as soon
anything,
as you
certainly
can.
will.
Yeah, thank you. That's what the question would be. What time would you want us there? Where we collect ourselves?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Or carpool. Okay, to move on. Any other new business?
Just with the development committee, is there any plans for that to start up? I know we have created the committee, but we don't have. You know.
I'm trying to remember who I had the conversation with, and I think it was Carolyn who said she wanted it to start later in the year.
I think it was Kirsten. Kirsten said he actually had done fundraising. But that he believed there should be a plan. That one raises funds for, so he saw. Participating in the long range plan first and then
Development.
would,
On target,
yes.
yes, exactly.
So, and then Carolyn had said to me privately, I think, to do it later, but my question would be, I could see it starting the beginning of Q2. What's your thought?
I guess my general thought is because it's a new committee and, just the idea in general is new to us, having a little bit of time. The sooner we start it, the more organized we can get and we have more of an opportunity to discuss. So that was, sort of giving us a little bit of grace. If we start it early, it doesn't have to be high stakes, but it gives us an opportunity to say, well, actually, here's what, again, coordinated with the long range plan, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, I think you're gonna need a few things, and it feels like it would sit in the policy and governance, because you're gonna need a description for the committee.
I
Do we have one?
believe
I thought we did create, was like,
we
yeah.
did create.
I love it when I think of something that we've already done.
Yeah,
Okay.
no.
Okay, so as long as we have it, then when you think about who we would put to it, right now. We're not starting that in January.
No.
Okay, just,
No.
I would like to get through the contract. If we think we can, that's why I'm saying it feels good to get through some things in this first quarter. Like the back pay issue, the contract. Get some stuff out of the way, start the long range plan so that we have a process, we know who we're involving when. We initiate that, and I'm sure, I guarantee that in that long range plan outreach, you're going to find people who would make sense to be on development. And then you start to put them in place. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah, I feel an eagerness to do so many things, but we
Is development a standing committee or an ad hoc committee? Was the idea to create an ad hoc committee through development to
it's not fun.
Or is it just?
It's ad hoc, which is why we can have.
Which,
Okay,
yes,
but-
exactly.
Yeah, I just couldn't remember.
Yeah,
But
I already know some
it's been a
people.
while, so
I have
Yeah.
one person who wants to be on it,
Yeah.
who is a grant seeker,
Yeah.
so,
perfect. I just didn't want it to fall off our radar.
Yeah.
no.
Okay.
And I actually have two potential people, so two of those trustees that we looked at last time were like, no, I can't do this, but let me know. One said absolutely yes to development committee specifically already,
Mhm.
the other would be willing to think about it when we get there. But both of them are grant seekers, that's their
Perfect.
world, they have GuideStar
Mhm.
logins for Candid and everything.
Great.
So I'm sure you're going, can we get that sooner rather than later, because how do we know what grants are out there? Which maybe that's part of having a smaller development committee to start with, so they can start doing some grant work. Separate from the long range plan with larger asks and strategic needs.
Mhm. Any money is good money.
Uh. Let me reach out to them
Mhm.
and see what their time frame is.
Think we-
Mhm. Can you make that a big action item for me, and I'll try and.
Not to impose my demands on the board, but thank you.
Yeah. No, I think that we could get a chair, we had one in mind. And, we could also get, participants and. I can think of at least 3 or 4 people immediately that we could put to it. I understand the idea of like, if we don't have a long range plan, what are we going after? But if right now what we're doing is mining GuideStar to see what grants are out there that we need to apply for with a deadline,
Looking at 990 forms.
yeah. Sorry. Candid is my client, GuideStar, and all I've been doing this year is optimizing their 990 form. That is my entire life. Okay.
What was your action item? I'm sorry, you used it.
Reach out to development committee, potential chair and members to see about a start date. Does that work? And I mean, I would not necessarily be putting those members on right when the chair. Wait, no. I would do it in coordination with the chair.
Mhm.
Okay. Are we okay to move on to community feedback?
Yeah.
Okay, do we have any community feedback?
I have two good ones. The first is, I had someone come to me about, the Mechanical Library has Books for Babies program. And it's funded through their friends, and it's a little bit like the like Dolly Parton Imagination Library, but it includes some other items and etc. But what they were bringing up was that they had felt like the library could use, in the spirit of children's programming, more programming that focused on babies. There's a lot of babies at home, especially for the first year of a baby's life, and looking at that programming is very much needed. Mental health for the mother, parents, development for the babies. They just requested that, so I wanted to give that feedback. And I noticed too, because a lot of the events are like for ages 2 and up, 3 and up, 6 and up, like that sort of thing. So just sort of
If I
looking
can,
at babies.
just reply before you move on. 2 things that we don't have the staff to do that I would like to do in the future. One of them is working with the Bird at Birth Center. So that way every new mother in Troy is given like a library branded baby onesie, a book and things like that.
Good.
And then the other program that Albany has done successfully for years is like a community baby shower for people. Who
That's
don't-
already being done
Yeah.
by another organization,
Okay,
Black
perfect.
Flood.
Right.
But I do know, I
Yeah.
might know someone at Bird at First Center.
Yep, wonderful, that, exactly. So that was it, so I've been thinking about it, but we just don't have staff, so.
Okay. Flip the tables.
Flip it.
And I'm sorry, this isn't, I have a dog story, East Greenbush the Lecce League, have programs and meetings there, and it saved my entire. Experience with my son.
And Jayana ran him at APL for
Mhm.
breastfeeding.
Yeah.
So it's a really tough time for parents, and libraries are part of why I ran. Anyway, the second thing is, I heard from an organization and 2 individuals about the lack of policy for the library around ICE. So I would just like to let the whole board know that it's my intention, after speaking to the system briefly today, just to understand like if there was some talk about it and if there was any guidance. That I'd like us to work on a policy around ICE and law enforcement in our libraries. So I'm bringing that to the policy and governance committee, unless there's any reason I shouldn't.
And the system did share like know your rights and some other things.
Yeah, I just got it back today, cause I inquired this morning with John, cause I just didn't know what was out there.
Can I ask, just kind of what kind of policy specific things you're thinking about as opposed to like the procedural things?
Just about, I think the what the library's policy is when they come and something that is easily accessible for people to read and understand if they. Like if I am worried about my safety in coming to the library as a public space, it would be nice to read the policy as to like what the library does, and then yeah, probably the procedures.
Procedure stuff I have, it's like part of operations that I've been working on that since March, and that's, you know, something.
Well, when-
Just in my work, so that's why I was just
Right.
curious, and we can hammer out. So, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay, yes,
And also note, I did bring this up to the school district and they did have a little, I mean, it's a blur, but
Yeah.
they have something.
yeah,
mhm.
So we might be able to pull them up.
yeah, that was just kind of like the expectation, so I
Yeah.
guess that I just want, yeah,
Mhm.
or just understand, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, we don't need to hammer anything out here, but that was what has come to me a couple different times, and I think it's very
That's fair.
important that we bring it. Because we don't have anything and doesn't look like really our libraries do either, so. Maybe we can set the trend,
Thank you, actually.
that's all I had for community feedback.
In the community feedback.
I will just say that I did attend, this was the city council meeting. At the end of the meeting, Rhea and I were talking to a number of people about ways that they could engage with the library and engage with the long range planning process and doing some introductions. And people generally had a lot of nice things to say about the library. There was a person who does some tutoring in the library, and people were interested in having more meeting space in the library.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's already a designated Lansingburg group that's working on policy issues and some other things, so. There are people there that I would poke for long range planning work.
With the city or?
No, just individuals, like individual people who
Well,
work,
saying like
live.
policy.
Well, policy work on other things,
Gotcha,
but
okay.
but with regard to this would be very helpful because they know the neighborhoods well.
Got it, okay,
They aren't just CEOs of companies,
no, thank you.
Hey, what's wrong with that?
just you, Rhea, we just let you in.
That's fine. Don't let me do me. Okay, is any other public comment? Community, oh, sorry, any other community feedback? I'm tired. Are we ready? All right, do we have public comment? Our public's long gone. If you're watching this, thank you. I would like to make a motion to adjourn. Next meeting would be February 10th at 5:30 p.m. Do I have a second to adjourn?
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously. We are getting out of here at 8:44 p.m. Thank you. Okay. Sorry. Oh my god.
Alright.
Why does this keep electrocuting me every time I touch it?
So.
Mm.